Okay, so Kao Data, you've fairly recently published Critical Careers Celebrating Women in Digital Infrastructure. I guess it'd be good just to understand who came up with the idea and how, from the idea it came to where you actually got, produced the publication.
Yeah, I suppose it was a sort of collective initiative, really. Our Chief Commercial Officer, Spencer Lamb, really wanted to showcase and promote our company-wide DE&I, diversity, equality and inclusion commitments in something in a more formal way, because often these things are shielded. We have a company-wide consensus that we want to broaden the kind of variety of people in our company, but these efforts often go unnoticed. So we wanted to promote an initiative that really showcased the variety of women in particular that exist in the industry. And then from there, the kind of initial aspiration was kind of given over to myself and Adam, our VP of marketing, who had the genius idea of coming up with a coffee table book. And it's obviously part of a wider digital campaign, but the coffee table book was really a way in which we could capture just a snapshot of women across the industry from all different roles, locations, seniority. But it was a way in which we could just effectively go, this is a kind of a way in which we can showcase the excellent opportunities that exist for women in digital infrastructure. So yeah, I suppose it wasn't one idea. It wasn't one person who was responsible. It was a layered kind of melting pot of ideas, which has born Critical Careers.
And in terms of, I mean, as you say, the book, the publication features interviews with women from across the digital sector. So were they customers, sort of contacts, etc.? Or how did you engage with folks and get, as you say, a whole range of companies and different sort of job titles? How do you create that sort of variety, if you like?
Yeah, I suppose we started with our own network, which was quite vast actually. We didn't really appreciate quite how many women we had in our wider contacts. So we started with those, and from there, it was so well received with the project. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen the variety of people, Phil, but we have everyone from Dame Dawn Childs, who's featured in the book, to Kyla Small, who is an apprentice working at Equinix. So it's really just such a broad range of people, and then people like Elvira von Bruggen from Microsoft really helped us widen that reach, because we didn't just want it to be sort of Europe focused. We really wanted to showcase that this is an international industry, so we wanted to showcase people from all around the world. So she really helped us reach out to people in Singapore, Australasia. So it was really, whilst it started as a Kao Data campaign, it became this cross-industry consensus where we were recruiting people, the whole time. Started off as a company-wide thing, but it definitely amalgamated into something that was a kind of a cross-industry campaign.
And you mentioned a few folks included there, but I mean, are there any particular sort of people that you regard as highlight, that you found particularly interesting? I mean, maybe it's a bit unfair to ask that, but were there any highlights that you came across, or you just enjoyed all the different stories?
I mean, all the different stories were brilliant. It was important for us to work with people who really understood the value that this initiative can bring. I mean, we have Libby Milne and Barbara Sacker, who have created the movement Forward for Women in Data Centers. So it's important to work with other kind of organizations that are committed to broadening the kind of appeal of careers in this field. But yeah, like I said, I love kind of the junior entries, as well as hearing from the likes of Emma Fryer or Melanie Keeley at Oracle, because it really showed. I think the overriding thing wasn't necessarily the individual stories, of which they were all brilliant. It was more the common themes, and I think the common themes that emerged were we're all incredibly passionate about this industry, and we really want to encourage our peers, our colleagues, other women that we meet to join this sort of sector and this and explore these possibilities. And so it's really a case of promoting what we do, the support that we have within this industry, whether it is something like Critical Careers or Forward, or the support we have from our teams, and just encouraging more women to join it. I think no one ever set out to, in the book, no one ever set out to have a career in data centers. Not because, we just didn't know they existed. It's often been quite shielded and quite secretive. So it wasn't that we just didn't know it existed. However, when you read it, it's like, well, we all wish we'd have known from, the start, because we're incredibly passionate about it. So, it was very much, whilst the stories were great, they were united by these common themes. So I think that's the really overriding messages that I've taken from the book.
And in terms of what you're doing with it to promote the digital industry to women, because everyone knows, I think they're still significantly underrepresented, as is the whole sort of DEI community. What are you, how are you promoting it, using it to promote the idea of getting more women and minorities into the industry sector?
So I think for us, whilst the book's a really brilliant tool, we really see this now taking on the form as an ongoing digital initiative and a project. We'd really like to establish maybe a podcast series where we discuss not necessarily women, journeys from specific people, but themes and advice, and certain topics where we can really help not necessarily younger people, but just women feel that they have some common ground and some shared experiences, and there's advice, and people can be, if you see these people in these senior positions or just positions that you aspire to be in, and you can learn from their journey and how they've overcome challenge, it's really valuable. So whilst we still want to engage this network of people, we really see it taking on the form of advice, really. Maybe not even just for the data center industry. I suppose this is advice that would be commonplace no matter what industry you're in. If you're wanted to talk about, how do I approach asking for a promotion, or how do I approach recruiting more people for my team, or I'm quite interested in this particular field, how do I get involved in this field, or how do I ask for learning? It's really having that shared insight that's where we want to take it with Critical Careers. So it's the world is our oyster at the moment, I think, and I'm really excited. And I think also, just to add, whilst I work for Kao Data, there's no bones about that, we don't really see this as a Kao Data project. We do see this as an industry-wide project, and it would be wonderful, as the book shows, we have the hyperscalers in there, we have our competitors in there, we have our suppliers in there, we have people from the legal sector, Tech UK. It's a mission as opposed to a campaign, so I'm excited to see where the project's going to go.
Yeah, and maybe just before finishing, in terms of sort of equality, DEI more widely, I guess progress is being made, but do you still worry that it's perhaps not enough and fast enough, or just your thoughts as to sort of where we are on this journey?
I think, as you say, progress is certainly being made, and I don't necessarily think that it's the pace that's the issue. I think it's the awareness that's the issue. I think there's so many different projects that are quite siloed, and I think together, collectively, bringing an awareness to what we can do as an industry that is totally focused on the future and is vital, is important. So there's so many brilliant, and I think that's another thing that came out from the book. It's almost as if my personal experience experienced industries that aren't necessarily progressive, and don't promote, diversity, equality, and inclusion initiatives, don't see the gender divide as a problem. And I don't feel that in this industry. I feel there is such a focus on, supporting women, vocalizing the importance of more women, or minorities into this sector, that I just think it just needs to be more known about, more heard about, more publicized, because there are plenty of initiatives out there. And so, yeah, I think I always feel a little bit somewhat not guilty, but supported. I feel incredibly supported, not just from KO, but from the industry as a whole. So I just want more women to know about it, because they don't need to put up with something that is, not satisfactory. There is an opportunity out here. We are a great industry. We're looking at the future. We are looking at areas we can always improve. We're constantly attracting new ideas, new talent, new people, which is exciting. And whilst often it's kind of thought of as construction heavy or male dominated, I really feel that it's a really powerful movement that's happening. So I just think it's not necessarily, the pace of change, it's just how loudly we talk about the change that's taking place.
Yeah, and I mean, to that point, clearly individual companies such as yourselves are doing, a lot around it, and then maybe the industry as a whole is doing stuff, and maybe can do more. Just, I suppose, your thoughts as to how that awareness can be raised. Do you think it needs to be controlled by, one key initiative under which everything, falls, or how much can individual companies do as opposed to the collective industry, I suppose, is the question.
Yeah, I suppose that's it. I think, when you're one, you're kind of a lonely voice, but when you're together, you can definitely have more of an impact. And I don't know the form of that, how that should take. I don't know if it's a policy initiative, if it comes through that route, or it's companies such as ourselves joining together to sign up to, I don't know, create some sort of pact or movement, or who knows. It's I suppose in its formative stages. And I would certainly like Critical Careers to be a part of that. I'd certainly like Critical Careers to, blaze that trail, I suppose. And that's what the next iteration, I think, needs to be. It needs to be, collective, initiative that unites everyone behind this project, because these are critical. These careers are critical, and if we're going to deliver the government's ambitions of, being an AI superpower, or we're going to, lead the way in terms of, sustainability initiatives, we need as many people as we can get, and we need people who are up for the challenge, with different ideas and different perspectives, because that's how you solve different challenges that we don't necessarily know what they are yet. So yeah, I think Critical Careers is a great start, but we'll see what else is out there and how we can join forces, I think.
Yeah, so maybe just in finishing, I suspect I know the answer from the enthusiasm which you're talking about. So, but are you optimistic or not that, the digital industry, data centers, etc., are on this right path when it comes to DEI, and so you're just looking forward to that future, or are you any concerns at all, or you just think it's in a good place to go forward?
Yeah, I suppose it won't surprise you to know, like, I am 100% optimistic. I think the reason being is because we have no choice. This is the future. The future is happening whether we like it or not. And I think outdated and outmoded ideas, they just won't survive. It's almost, in this industry, it's not a survival of the fittest, but make the decision, carry on, keep going, because someone's going to be doing it somewhere else. We haven't got time to worry about, oh, is this a woman? Should this woman be leading the job, or should this person be leading the job? I'm not quite sure. If you've got a good idea, we're going to run with it, and someone's going to be doing it, and someone's going to be doing it faster than you. So I think it's not necessarily, are we on the right track? It's just somewhat inevitable. I think progress is always being made. We are focused on progress all the time as an industry. So yeah, whether it's always perfect, probably not, but it's certainly going to happen. And yeah, it's not just happening in Europe or North America. This industry is happening around the world. It needs to happen around the world. So yeah, diversity, equality, and inclusion initiatives, they're just happening. They're no longer really initiatives. It's yeah, it's just happening. It's inevitable.
Okay, I mean, it's been great to chat, and thank you so much for explaining about obviously the publication, and then talking more widely about DEI, etc. So, Lizzie, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate that.